The eulogy is going to be interspersed between me and Laura, so we'll go back and forth. The death of a son. As a Christian, we are comforted by the knowledge that Luke is now in the arms of the one who taught us to love. As parents, we are distraught by the huge hole our son's passing has left in our hearts and our lives. We know this hole will never be filled and will bring us to tears 50 years from now. However, next to this chasm in my soul is the area filled with overwhelming love and joy that my beautiful son had brought me. The pain and sadness of having lost Luke will never compare to the happiness I found during our short time together, or the rich memories I'll forever carry with me. As Tennyson put it, "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never have to have loved at all."
There's an inexplicable bond that exists between parent and child. It is God's gift to every parent, and we could more easily change the law of gravity than we could lessen that bond. Luke was an absolute joy, and we cherish every day we had with him. Forever we will treasure the way he'd smile ear to ear with just a touch of underbite and shaking just slightly, unable to contain his excitement. We'll treasure the expressiveness of his lips, the way he'd light up at the sight of Gracie, how much comfort he gleaned from her presence, how they played next to each other in the hospital crib, the way he'd crawl up on Daddy and look up with pride at his accomplishment, the feeling in his little body in my arms as his little arm firmly directed me through the halls, the feeling of tenseness in his body dissipate when he'd start nursing, the calmness he felt in my carrier as we spent so many hours heart to heart, the peace he felt when he was with family, the ease with which he accepted all his treatment, and most importantly, the way he was just figuring out how to irritate Gracie. In the midst of all his brutal treatment, he had so many beautiful times. John and I are unspeakably blessed to have those memories, and we will treasure them forever.
When I learned 6 months ago that Luke had cancer, all I could think at that moment was, I wish it were me, not my sweet boy. Unfortunately, this is not a choice one is allowed to make. At first, Laura and I talked about how this was going to be the worst year of our lives, no matter how this turned out. We quickly caught ourselves and decided that, considering Luke was still with us, this needed to be the best year of our lives. This was a choice we could make. We would not put life on hold during this time. Quite the opposite. We chose to live life to the fullest.
But maybe not in the way one might expect when they hear those words. After all, we just got pushed into the world of pediatric cancer. Luke's immune system was often compromised. He had ongoing treatments, which required us to remain in close proximity to the hospital, and we had long overnight stays at the hospital. Knowing that tomorrow, as once expected, might never come, instantly shifted our focus onto what's truly important in life. What rose up with perfect clarity was a heightened richness of the moments of everyday life. John Lennon wrote in his song fitly titled, "Beautiful Boy," "Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans." When we say we chose to live life to the fullest, we mean that we realize that the most beautiful parts of life, as Lennon said, are right in front of us. The beauty of children's laughter, the beauty with which they unabashedly explore their world, the sun shining down on dewy grass, the hugs and embraces after long hospital stays. Understanding that type of beauty is real living.
Anyone who knows me knows I love a new experience. I had hoped someday for me and Luke to maybe go down the Congo in a canoe, or maybe climb Aconcagua in South America, or maybe paraglide in the Swiss Alps, or maybe any other adventure I'd always dreamed of, but that my wife and daughter were too fragile for. Luke seemed so solid the day he was born. Befitting his middle name of Muir, we had already taken him to Yosemite to see the mountains he would one day climb. None of this is to be. The new experience I instead had this last year was learning what it truly means to be a father. I needed to save my son's life. This meant finding the best medical care and doctors in the world, which I feel we had, and making sure his treatment, however unorthodox and traumatic on us, gave him the best chance to not only survive, but to thrive if he lived. While I wish, with the deepest part of my being, that Luke's outcome would have been different, I know that we gave him the best possible chance at life. Sometimes, as a father, that's all you can do. Give your child the best possible chance.
Mothering Luke through this past 6 months changed me. While I am heartbroken that it ended the way it did, my time with Luke over the past 6 months was beautiful. He depended on me. I was the one to comfort him. I was up in the night with him. It was my arms that he looked to for holding, my breasts that he needed to feel calm, my eyes that he looked to for support. I was the mother bear who steadfastly asked that the most aggressive, harshest therapies be given, and then held him through it. I guarded my little cub. In return, I was given an incredibly rich experience with my boy. During all of his treatment, I realized what a strong connection Luke and I would always have should he live. What I didn't realize is that strong connection would remain in my heart even in his death. Walking this road with him was not easy, and I hated seeing him endure the treatments. It was stressful and all-consuming. But many worthwhile experiences aren't easy. He changed me. He introduced me to a rich, rich relationship that I shared with him. He introduced me to the world of pediatric cancer, to families with children walking similar roads, to our oncologist, who not only is an amazing doctor, but also an amazing person. I hope I've learned a much deeper sense of empathy for parents walking similar roads. I hope I've learned the beauty of the simple. God sent us an angel of a son, the son we always dreamed of, and the son we always wanted. He changed me deeply. You can't walk this road less traveled and not be changed. And there are not many 16-month-old kids who have left that kind of mark on their world. For that, I am so thankful.
One of the reasons that we like the name Luke is that it is in his gospel that it is written, "To whom much is given, much is expected." During his all too short life, Luke really was given a lot: the best medical care in the world, and a family who loved him to the ends of the earth. We often thought, if Luke makes it through this, what a debt he needs to repay with a life well lived. What we see now is that Luke was God's indescribable gift to us, and that much is now expected from us. We hope and pray that what we give back to the world will be pleasing in God's eye. Amen.